Hey guys, I had not intended on doing this video right away, but because of Hurricane Helene and Hurricane Milton, it was the time to do this video. So as some of you know, we are absolutely obsessed with Disney World and Universal Studios Orlando, and we vacation there a lot. Anyway, about 3 years ago, Joe and I decided that we would start looking for a place down in the Orlando area. And that way, maybe we wouldn't spend so much money on hotel bills at the resorts, at the Disney resorts and the Universal Studios Orlando resorts. We thought, well, we might as well put the money into a place of our own. So it took us about 3 years, and we finally ended up finding a place in the Orlando area that I felt we could afford because the prices are stupid high and the HOAs are even worse. So we finally ended up finding a place. We had been outbid on many places along the way, but this one, I fell in love with it immediately, and it went pending while we were talking with our realtor. And then it just so happened that that deal ended up falling through for whatever reason. And so the realtor contacted us and said, "Are you still interested?" Well, lo and behold, we ended up purchasing this property, and it's right in the Orlando area. And we're just so excited about this property. And we've been working on it. It had a lot of fix-up stuff. Some of the stuff cosmetic, some of it a little bit more than cosmetic. The floors were pretty well trashed. Not floor coverings, floors. So now the floors have had all of the supports put underneath and all new plywood so that new flooring could go down over the top of it. And we have just made so many improvements to this. We've made plumbing repairs, electrical repairs, some of the paint. There's some paint that we hadn't got to yet. But anyhow, we've made a few trips down there. And in fact, we were even down there during Helene. And we were a little bit worried about Helene, but Helene was in the Gulf and it was going up a little bit beyond where we thought that we needed to worry. And it turns out that Helene wasn't a problem for us, thankfully, because there's so much devastation from Helene. It was horrific. But I was at Disney World with my niece's family during Hurricane Helene, and Joe and Gary had gone to the house to work on the house while I was at Disney World with my niece's family. Well, the air conditioner ended up taking a dump, and maybe that was a blessing in disguise, but the guys ended up coming and staying with me for one night, 2 nights, might have been 2 nights. And so I had gone to the desk at Disney and said, "Hey, this is going on with our place." And they were not bothered by it. Hurricane Helene was supposed to be hitting the day after I checked in to Disney. So the guys came and stayed with me until after the hurricane passed, and then we got somebody out there to work on the air conditioning and figure out what the problem was and get it fixed. Then they went back to the house. Our plane ride home from Disney was the most scary visuals that I could have possibly imagined. It was very sobering to see the amount of damage from the sky. I have never really dealt with a hurricane before. I knew hurricanes existed, but I'm from Illinois, so I've not really experienced it and seen it firsthand. But the view outside of our window for probably at least the first hour of the 2-hour flight was flooding and devastation and rooftops in the middle of water. And all you could do was just stare in horror. It was horrific to see that many people had suffered such devastation. It kind of making me emotional just thinking about it. It was pretty bad. So fast forward a couple weeks, what is it, 2 or 3 weeks now since Hurricane Helene? And now we've just experienced Hurricane Milton. That was a Category 3 when it hit land in the Sarasota area and Tampa area, and went east across the state of Florida. And we were in the path. And all we could do was just watch the Weather Channel nonstop to maybe get a glimmer of hope that for some reason the hurricane had slowed down or that it had scrubbed off or something. But of course, that wasn't happening. And so finally, the night that Hurricane Milton hit, I'm watching the Weather Channel and kind of checking in on the cameras at our place, because at least that gave me some glimmer of hope. If the cameras were still on, at least I could log in and look to see if our roof was still there, if our house was still there, and just get that maybe a bit of false hope, I think, because the hurricane hadn't gotten to our exact location yet while we were watching it. It was probably 11 o'clock at night, the night that Hurricane Milton hit land, that I finally seen the last visual of our house before the hurricane took out the power. But I think it was about 11:20 p.m. Wednesday night that I logged into the cameras and it said the power was out. And I'm trying to calm myself, thinking, okay, but the power is going to go out. I need to understand the power is going to go out. Don't panic. So the best thing I could do was go to bed, try to sleep through it, because we were back in Illinois by this point. And there was literally, we were just a sitting duck and there was nothing we could do. So finally, when I got up in the morning, we literally have the most kind neighbors ever that have helped us with the house. If we get Amazon packages that get delivered way past when we're supposed to be there, because Amazon never delivers packages when they say. They've got a key to our place and they take the packages inside. But anyhow, Joe got a message from our next door neighbor, and he was telling us about the devastation in our subdivision. I don't want to get emotional. To know that people lose their homes, their belongings, their photos, their lives, their families. It's pretty bad. Damn it. This is such a bittersweet video because our next door neighbor told us that 8 homes in our subdivision were completely demolished. Roofs off, everything inside, everywhere. Flooding, everything horrible that you could expect from a major Cat 3 hurricane when it hits landfall and goes across the state at a Cat 3. Somehow, I don't know if it's dumb luck or if we have a guardian angel, but our home survived and our car survived. We had taken our new SUV down there because we knew that each time we went, we would fly in and it was going to cost way too much to rent a car all the time. So we left our new SUV down there. I honestly don't know how a house 4 houses away from us is gone. It's bittersweet because you feel guilty that you're so excited that all of your belongings are safe and you know that other people suffered such devastation. The photos, the videos, the drone shots of our area. It's so bad. And although most people actually listened and evacuated, there was still a lot of lives lost. I know a home can be replaced, a car can be replaced, photos can't be replaced, sentimental items of family members, but obviously the most important, life, cannot be replaced. We were actually supposed to be there right now, but our flight's been canceled, so we'll probably go down and actually check in on it in the next week, 2, 3 weeks. I don't know yet. I'm sorry. Trying to get it together. I worry about all the people and how this has impacted their lives and their livelihood. It's not just homes, but jobs have been lost. People's livelihood. Sometimes we don't realize how lucky we are until we're forced to realize it. Weirdly enough, Joe's mom came to him in a dream the night of the hurricane. I am convinced that Joe's mom is a guardian angel of ours because we've had a few near misses of things that it's just oddly peculiar that something didn't happen where you can't really explain it. I do believe firmly that we have a guardian angel, and I feel very grateful and blessed for that. But at the same time, I feel guilty that I'm so relieved. Not that I wanted our property to have anything wrong, obviously, but you see other people's devastation literally in our same subdivision. And it makes you wonder, how did we go unscathed? Our vehicle was sitting outside. It didn't even get a scratch. And yet homes around us are gone. Just gone. The roofs are gone. The properties were ripped off of their foundation. I know that we're very blessed, but it's a very sobering, scary thing to deal with, that so many people's lives have been devastated. The other part of the problem is, had we been destroyed in the hurricane, we were not insured, because in the state of Florida, trying to get insurance is really, really difficult. And in order to have insurance on your property, you have to have insurance for 3 months in order for hurricane insurance to pay. And we only owned it for 2 months. So had we been devastated by the hurricane, we would have been out everything. I had intended on us working on the property and fixing it and finalizing all the repairs and doing everything to it so that I could do a video about, hey, we bought a house and these are the improvements that we did, and this is the during and the before, during, and after, and just doing a quick video about that after everything was all said and done. Never in my wildest dreams would I have imagined that something like this could have happened. I mean, we're in the middle of the state, and although properties can still get hurricane damage in the Orlando area, it's generally pretty minimal. So I was very naive to think that anything could happen to us in that area. Thank God that somehow our place survived this, and that by dumb luck we were not there, because we're supposed to be there right now, and Hurricane Milton just ended. I was actually to the point where I was physically sick the day that Hurricane Milton was supposed to hit that night. That day I was physically sick because all I had been doing was just worrying and worrying and worrying. So it physically affected me, which was really strange for me. Usually I have a bit of a shit deflector built in, and so some of this kind of stuff just kind of bounces off of me like, yeah, okay, reason for everything. This one I couldn't come up with a way to deal with it. This is all very new to me. I hope we never have to experience anything like that ever again. Joe actually talked about, should we sell our place? I don't know what the answer is. You know, when we finish it, I don't know if we'll sell it because of our fear factor. We absolutely love this place. It's adorable. It's not fancy. We're not fancy people. It's so cute. It's little. It's only 1,100 square feet. It's just a cute little place that we can enjoy when we're down in Florida, to go to the parks or just to get away, or a long weekend or whatever. Flights are typically relatively cheap, and we just take a personal bag with 3 days worth of clothes in it and then do laundry. And we do that at the parks. We do that now with our home. I wanted to get on here and just let everybody know that we did buy a place and what was going on with it, and share this information with you. We're so excited that we have this place. We're so grateful and thankful that our place survived both of these hurricanes. I don't know if the power of prayer works. I'm not an outwardly religious person, but when you're faced with something like this, tell you what, you learn to pray out loud and you learn to be grateful out loud. For the people that did not survive this, either their properties or themselves, I can't even express enough how horrible this has to be. I just thought it was important to get on here and tell everybody about us purchasing our little dream vacation place and what we've been through over the last 2 months, but mostly the last 3 weeks. Anyhow, we'll be back down there soon again and back to creating again. I've got a lot of content, but of course the house has taken up a tremendous amount of time, and therefore I've not really been working on the channel as much as I'd like to. Kind of feels like the story of my life in some sense. Hopefully you guys are all safe and you survived this hurricane without any sort of devastation. I'm so grateful to everybody here on YouTube and thankful that we have this outlet and we've made so many friends here on YouTube. It's been a blessing in so many ways, and we just feel incredibly grateful.